Let's begin. Good afternoon again. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. Today's class, we're going to continue learning the laws of lighting Shabbos candles. We're holding Siman Ayin Hey, chapter 75, Halacha Hey, Halacha 5. Just a short review on last week's class. We learned about how many candles one should light. Should make sure to light at least 2 candles. And a lot of people have the custom to light according to the number of people in the family. If you light one, you still fulfill you fulfill the mitzvah. Then we learned about what type of candle you should use, and candles nowadays, tea lights. That's very good. That's a very good thing to use. Or Shabbos candles. There are you could buy something called Shabbos candles that you could buy. It's similar to tea lights. Just want to point out, I didn't mention last week that you should be careful not to use Hanukkah candles that only last for about 30-40 minutes, because you want to make sure that you have candles that are lit when you eat your Shabbos meal. So you should have candles that last for a longer time than just the Shabbos candles. And then we learned about that you should say the bracha after you light the Shabbos candles.
Rabbi, what do you mean candles for Shabbos that will last longer than the Shabbos candles?
There are the Hanukkah candles, there's Hanukkah candles that only last for about 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, so the Shabbat should last longer than the Hanukkah candles.
Yeah, so you shouldn't use those candles that people sometimes use for Hanukkah, because it's important to have it's important to have the Shabbos candles last when you're eating your Shabbos meal, Friday night. And yeah, you should first light the candles and only afterwards say the bracha on the candles. And if a person needs to there's a need to do either it's a night that a lady has to go to mikvah, or there's another need that she has to take care of that would involve doing forbidden labor, she should first say the bracha. She should have in mind that she's not accepting Shabbos when lighting Shabbos candles, and then she should say the bracha before lighting Shabbos candles, since she's not accepting Shabbos through lighting Shabbos candles. Now we're going to discuss in Halacha Hey, who is obligated to light Shabbos candles. Is it only a woman is obligated to light Shabbos candles, or the obligation is on men and women? And then if men are also obligated to light Shabbos candles, why is it that women are the ones that are better? It's better that a woman lights Shabbos candles. Halacha Hey, mitzvah sadlakas haneres chala bein al anashim bein al anashim. The mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles is a mitzvah that falls both on men and on women. Only that the responsibility falls more on women. For what reason? Why should women be more careful to do this mitzvah? Because usually the women are more commonly found in the house. They're more in the house than men usually. And this is a mitzvah that's being done in the house in order to illuminate the house, bring light to the house.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
I thought that a time-bound thing women are not supposed to do, and you have to light Shabbos candles at a certain time.
Very good question. So that is correct. The time-bound mitzvah women are not obligated to do. In this case, there's time-bound mitzvahs women are not obligated to do when they're positive commandments. But if they're negative commandments, then they are obligated to do. So let's say not eating bread on Pesach. That's going to be an obligation also for women because it's a negative commandment and not a positive commandment. So this mitzvah of lighting candles is also a positive commandment, but what's learned out is that it says in the Torah twice the 10 commandments. The first one time when it says the 10 commandments, it says you should keep Shabbos. And the other time when it speaks about the 10 commandments, by the commandment of Shabbos, it says you should remember Shabbos. And the rabbis learn out that keeping Shabbos is referring to that you should keep Shabbos by not doing any forbidden labor. And remembering Shabbos, when the second and the time that it says in the 10 commandments, remember Shabbos, it's referring to a positive mitzvah. They have to sanctify Shabbos. So since that it says in the 10 commandments once keep Shabbos and another time it says remember, we say that they're connected and we're going to learn one out from the other. In this case, whoever is obligated to do the mitzvah of keeping Shabbos, which since that's a negative commandment, also women are obligated to do. We say they're also obligated to do the commandment of remembering Shabbos because we say that they're put together. They go together. That since they're both in the 10 commandments, and just one time it mentions only remember, and the other time it mentions keep. We learn out that they go together whenever they go together, and whoever is obligated in keeping Shabbos has to also remember Shabbos. So therefore, this is a mitzvah that women are obligated in. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of a longer idea, but that's the idea. This is an exception to the rule. Regularly, the rule is women are not obligated in time-bound mitzvahs, but there are exceptions. And whenever there's an exception, there's a reason for it. That's in short the idea. But very good point that regularly women are not obligated in time-bound mitzvahs when they're positive mitzvahs. Another reason why women should do the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles.
Is that a Gezerah Shava then?
It's similar. I think it's not a Gezerah Shava. It's something called a Hekesh, I believe. So I think that's if I'm remembering correctly, that's what I believe it is. The Hebrew wording is Zachar v'Shamar b'dibur echad. We say in the Licha Dodi on Friday night that Hashem said Zachar and Shamar, remember Shabbos and keep Shabbos. Hashem said in one utterance. So we learn that whoever is obligated in keeping Shabbos is also obligated in remembering Shabbos. Another reason why the women should do the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles, because a woman extinguished the candle of the world. Because Chava caused Adam to sin. And darkened Adam's soul, darkened his soul, which is called a ner, a candle. Shenemra, as the Torah says, Elikim, as it says in Mishlei, Elikim Nishmas Adam. Sorry, Ner Elikim Nishmas Adam. The candle of God is the soul of a person. And therefore, in order to rectify this, it's necessary that she light candles to honor Shabbos, since that this sin of eating from the tree of knowledge happened close to Shabbos, so it would be a special opportunity to do a mitzvah right before Shabbos. And therefore, if there's a woman in the house, she takes precedence to do this mitzvah. And nevertheless, there is for the man, the husband, as well, to help out in this mitzvah by preparing the candles, bringing the candlesticks, the actual tea lights to the table, and by singeing the fire. Yeah, it's also just I'm sure it's also appreciated just when a man helps out in the house, so always be a good thing. Regards to sieging the fire, nowadays that we have good, our tea lights light very well. There are those that say it's not necessary to siege the fire before one lights, because they'll light easily. The purpose of sieging the fire is that in order that you can light easily, the lady can light easily when she's lighting the Shabbos candles. But nowadays it's easy to light tea lights, so it's not necessary to singe the fire, singe the tea lights. This means that you would light the candles and then you would extinguish the candles in order that it'll be easy afterwards for his wife to light, or for the woman in the house to light. The Isha Yolades, if a woman just gave birth, the first Shabbos after she gives birth, the husband shall light Shabbos candles and make a bracha on the Shabbos candles. But after the first Shabbos, and also when she's a nida, when she menstruates, she should light and make a bracha. Nowadays, if a woman gave birth and it's the first Friday after she gave birth, if she's able to walk around and go to the dining room, she's already home from the hospital and she's able to go walk around to the dining room table to light Shabbos candles, the custom is that if she's able to do that, she should light Shabbos candles, depending if she feels up to it or not. But if she feels up to it, the custom is that she would light even the first Shabbos after she gave birth. That is halacha 5. Halacha vav. In halacha vav, we're going to talk about how one should be dressed. One should be ready to take in Shabbos when they light Shabbos candles. More specifically, let me correct myself. A woman that lights Shabbos candles should be ready to take in Shabbos when she lights Shabbos candles. And we'll discuss what happens if it's a very busy Friday and Friday's a busy day, and she gets she got caught up with preparing for Shabbos and it's already too close to Shabbos to have time to take a shower before Shabbos and light the Shabbos candles. What should she do in such a case? That if she would go in the shower and only later light Shabbos candles, there would be a doubt of possibly she's lighting Shabbos candles after sunset, after the proper time to light Shabbos candles. Noyagais hanashim shekeidim hadlakas haneres reichseis v'leivshes big day Shabbos. The custom of women is that before they light Shabbos candles, they take a shower and they're dressed in Shabbos clothing. V'ashrei lahen, and those that do so are praiseworthy. Utzriches lespalo mincha tchila. If a woman davens mincha, the afternoon prayer, it's necessary to daven mincha before lighting Shabbos candles. Ki ba'dlakas haneres hi mekabela Shabbos al atzma. Ve'iner lachayla lespalo acher kach mincha shocho. Because when she lights Shabbos candles, she's accepting Shabbos on herself. And she's not able to, and once she accepts Shabbos, she will not be able to daven afterwards a weekday Shmona Esrei, since that mincha, it would be the mincha is the prayer that is since that mincha would be Shmona Esrei of the weekday. The isha sinis achra ba'seka uva lebesa karav lechatzi shah koidim Shabbos. A woman that got delayed in her affairs, and she comes to her house around a half hour before Shabbos. That if she's going to now go take a shower and get dressed, it will come to be a doubt if she's going to desecrate Shabbos. Mitzvah yoiser shetadlik k'may shehi mishatavi chas b'shom lidei safek chilo Shabbos. It is a mitzvah, is the proper thing for her. She is commanded. She's commanded, and it's the better thing to do, that she should light Shabbos candles as she is without a shower, rather than taking a shower and, God forbid, coming to a doubt of desecrating Shabbos. If the husband sees that she's delayed in coming home, mitzvah gedela sheyadlikhu v'al yashkiach berugsa. It is a mitzvah, it's a great mitzvah for the husband to light the Shabbos candles and not to pay attention to the fact that his wife might be upset because now she's missing a week of lighting Shabbos candles. It's better that he lights rather than she possibly lighting once it's doubt if it's already Shabbos. So this is a very important thing. Shabbos candles is a very special mitzvah, but it's important to remember that it has to be done before sunset, and it's better. And if it's a doubt, if it's already sunset, you shouldn't light Shabbos candles. Although it would be the purpose of having Shabbos candles is to is to bring honor to Shabbos. One of the reasons. And if you would be desecrating Shabbos, it wouldn't be bringing honor to Shabbos, but on the contrary, it would be disrespectful to Shabbos. In a case when it's already too late for a woman to light, or not only a woman, for even a man, for the man for any person to light. If it was too late, there's already a doubt if it's past sunset or it's clearly past sunset. So if it's in a time that's called Bein Hashmashos, which that's from sunset to around 40 minutes after sunset. During that time, you're allowed to command a non-Jew. You could command a guy. You could tell a guy to light Shabbos candles for you. Since this is it's not at that time when it's not clearly night, it's a doubt whether the next day started. You're allowed to tell a guy to light Shabbos candles for you. Of course, we don't want this is only after the effect. It's only if it happened that one didn't light Shabbos candles before sunset, then they could tell a guy to light Shabbos candles. But one should be careful to do it oneself before, and the time that it's clearly not past sunset.
Excuse me, Rabbi.
Yeah.
If you're going to ask a Shabbos goy to light the candles, who does the bracha?
Very good. I was about to get there. You should say the bracha.
Okay.
Yeah. And you should say the bracha. Wait. Do it the same method I just do it during before Shabbos. Try to not have any benefit. Put your hands in front of your face and say the bracha, and then afterwards see the candles.
Can you do that between sunset and 40 minutes later? It's already Shabbos.
Till 40 minutes later. 40 minutes later, you don't.
No, between the man lighting and putting his hand in front of his face, that doesn't stop at Shabbos. That ends at 40 minutes after Shabbos.
No, you don't have to keep it there the whole time. Just once.
No. I mean, right. I'm not making myself clear. For the rule you gave is good up until 40 minutes after Shabbos for the man to say the bracha, correct?
For any person to say the bracha.
Oh, okay.
If you're getting a guy to light Shabbos candles,
But you
during
say
this time that's called Bein Hashmashos, from sunset until around 40 minutes. It's if you want. I don't know the exact time, but it's somewhere around there. You go to. Maybe I'll try to look into it later this week, maybe to get a little more clarity. During that time, since it's not definitely Shabbos, it's a doubt. We keep Shabbos due to a doubt. We're not sure when night really begins. So that whole time is a doubt whether Shabbos started. So there's a more lenient law during that time. You have to keep Shabbos during that time. But in a time of need, when there's a need, you're able to tell a guy to light candles for you if you missed lighting candles.
And you say the man or the woman.
The guy would light the candles for you, however many candles you light. And once the candles are lit, you cover your face. Don't look. Actually, the truth is, maybe you could make the bracha. I should check. Maybe you make the bracha before, since you're not doing any forbidden labor. It's very possible you make the bracha before.
Okay, that was my question. If there
Okay,
was
I think actually you make the bracha before, because the whole reason you don't make the bracha before regularly is because once you light the candle, once you say the bracha, you can't light the candles. But here you're not lighting the candles. You're getting a guy to light it, so you're not doing any.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so that's about lighting. That's about lighting candles during the time of Bein Hashmashos. That's about getting a guy to light candles during Bein Hashmashos. Regards to, it said in this halacha that if a person comes around a half hour before Shabbos, before sunset, and that if they're going to take a shower, there will be a doubt whether And if they're going to take a shower and only later and after the shower light Shabbos candles, it's going to be a doubt whether they're desecrating Shabbos. So this is not a black and white rule. It's not a black and white rule that it's a half hour is the time. It depends. Each person makes their own evaluation. How long do they need to go into the shower? If they're able to take a shower and get dressed in 15 minutes and in just 3 minutes they can light Shabbos candles, then if they have 20 minutes, it could be there, and they have enough time to light Shabbos candles, they could go into the shower even less than a half hour before Shabbos. It depends on, a person has to be, of course, very careful not to be in a doubt of desecrating Shabbos, put oneself in a doubt of desecrating Shabbos. But they're just mentioning that this that we read, that it's a half hour, is just is just something saying that if it's going to be that way, depending on the person, it's a law that depends on the person. Also, there's not so much time to Shabbos, so because of that, they want to light Shabbos candles. They don't have time to go into the shower, get dressed, and light Shabbos candles. But if they have time to light Shabbos candles and then go in the shower, and then during the time of when they're getting dressed would be that doubt period. It's a doubt of whether Shabbos is coming in. What a woman could do is she could light Shabbos candles, but before she lights Shabbos candles, has in mind that I'm not accepting Shabbos. I'm lighting Shabbos candles, but I'm not accepting Shabbos. And because I want to go in the shower. And she'll go in the shower, and then it will be permissible for her to go into the shower, provided as someone else is going to accept Shabbos within 10 minutes of when the candles were lit. So if, let's say, her husband or someone else in the house is going to accept Shabbos, she's able to do that. If there's enough time, it's not such a common case that there's enough time to take light candles and take a shower, but not to get dressed. But if that case comes up, she's allowed to do this condition. Of course, I'm just going to mention again that you want to always avoid this case. You want to make sure that you're able to take a shower before, get dressed, and light Shabbos candles afterwards. So you don't come into any, that's always the proper way to do it. We're just speaking about a scenario, in a case when the ideal situation didn't happen. What do you do then? Halacha Zayin. In Halacha Zayin, we're going to speak about...
Rabbi Yossi.
Yeah.
So how long can that shower last after sunset?
The shower cannot last after sunset.
So, okay, because I wanted to clarify. So you're talking that shower is like right up until sunset, and then the hot water's got to get turned off, or the water's got to get turned off.
Hot water has to be turned off before sunset. Let's say it takes her from when the hot water's turned off, when she ends her shower, till she would get dressed and come downstairs and be ready to light Shabbos candles. So it takes 7 minutes. So if those 7 minutes would help her, that she would be able to finish her shower, let's say 2 minutes before, let's say 2-3 minutes before sunset, but she wouldn't have enough. And then during the time when she's getting dressed and doing whatever other preparation she's doing to get ready to come downstairs, during that time, that's the time that it becomes sunset. So it'd be permissible for her to light Shabbos candles with a condition that she's going to that she's not accepting Shabbos because she wants to take a shower after she lights Shabbos candles, as long as the shower is going to finish before sunset. It will be fine even if she's going to be getting dressed after sunset. Halacha Zayin. Now we're going to discuss about a man lighting Shabbos candles. when a man lights Shabbos candles, does he have, we're going to learn that he doesn't accept Shabbos. If a man lights Shabbos candles and he needs to do, after lighting Shabbos candles, a certain forbidden labor, it is preferable that a man makes a condition that he's not accepting Shabbos with this lighting. But afterwards, however, if it happened that he didn't make a condition, he's able to do after lighting Shabbos candles forbidden labor. What's the reason for this? Because when the husband lights Shabbos candles, there's no custom that he's accepting Shabbos. It was only that the women made a custom that they're accepting Shabbos when they light Shabbos candles. The reason for this is because regularly the men, they go to shul and they're going to accept Shabbos in shul during davening. So because that they're going to accept Shabbos in shul during davening, they don't have in mind to accept Shabbos during candle lighting. However, women that they generally don't go to shul, daven in shul Friday night, so they have in mind that they want something to usher in the Shabbos. So they decide it's going to be the candles. Lighting Shabbos candles will usher in the Shabbos and cause.
Rabbi?
Yeah.
Is it forbidden or just a custom for a woman not to go to shul Friday night?
No, it's not. It's not forbidden. It's not forbidden to go to shul Friday night for a woman. It's just the days of the Shulchan Aruch of the Code of Jewish Law. It wasn't so common. Not that there was any. It was totally permissible, and it could even be a good thing.
Why don't more women do it now?
It could be that it's the idea of. So it's a different discussion, but about the idea of prayer, it's davening with the minyan, the things like that. It could be there. I'm not sure, but what I think the reason is that firstly, there's the idea of davening with the minyan is something that's like more, a man is added to a minyan, is counted for a minyan, so maybe to help there be a minyan. Also could be that the women were preparing for Shabbos, even on Shabbos, still like setting up the table and getting some. It could be it was more of a practical thing, that it wasn't so much. It was, they didn't find it was a little bit of a conflict to go to shul or to prepare the Shabbos. As mentioned earlier, that women are a lot of times more commonly found in the house, that they have that special mitzvah of making the house holy and bringing a lot of blessing into the house by making it a Jewish home and doing having a beautiful home. So that's only the women had that custom of accepting Shabbos by lighting Shabbos candles. Let's go on to halacha 8, halacha ches.
Rabbi Yossi, what about if there's nobody or no woman at home who accepts Shabbos does the man, could he light, like, let's say the woman's away, can he light and still drive to shul? Or does
Very
he
good.
have to accept?
Very good question. The answer is yes. He's able to, he doesn't, no one has to accept Shabbos by a man's lighting. If there's no woman if a man's lighting, no one has to accept Shabbos. It wasn't the custom that when a man lights, that there should be the acceptance of Shabbos. So since there isn't any custom, no one has to accept Shabbos when a man lights. Halacha 8 and 9 are going to discuss which places should a person light. Where's the place that a person should light Shabbos candles? We did touch upon this a little earlier in Halacha 4. Now we're going to really discuss where's the place that a person should have their Shabbos candles lit. In Halacha 8, we're going to learn that you should have Shabbos candles by where you're eating, and we're going to learn about if it's it's a little difficult to light Shabbos candles where you're eating. It's necessary to light Shabbos candles in the place where one is eating. The reason for this is in order that it should be noticeable that you're lighting candles to honor Shabbos. Why is it noticeable that you're lighting to honor Shabbos? Because you're not just having light in order to see in order that there'll be light in your home and you won't stumble over. You'll be able to see where you're going and not fall over anything. But you're having light in a place where you're eating, which that's a place that's you're doing in order to show that today is a holy day. We want to honor Shabbos, and we want to bring light into the home. Not just light in order to see where we're going, but light to make it pleasurable, to bring pleasure. One should not light in one place the Shabbos candles and then bring the Shabbos candles, place the Shabbos candles in a different place. Rather, the person should light the Shabbos candles where they're going to place the Shabbos candles. However, in a time of need, for example, the woman who has more of the responsibility to light Shabbos candles, if she's sick and she's not able to go to the dining room table, so she could light while she's in bed, and then someone else who didn't accept Shabbos could bring the Shabbos candles to the table that's in this house. Just to point out, when she's lighting, if there's a case that she has to light while she's in bed, still the candles should be placed on a surface when she's lighting. So if she's lighting in her bedroom while she's in bed, you should play the tea light should not be in someone else's hand, but it should be on a surface if possible while she's lighting, and then after she lights, someone that didn't accept Shabbos should bring the Shabbos candles to the dining room table. Kikol habayis nechshav mekayman. Why is it that you could bring from her from the bedroom to, if she lit in the bedroom, you could bring it to the dining room table, because it's considered like, because the whole house is considered one place, and it's like that she lit in this place. Although the best thing to do is, and in a regular situation, you should light in a place where the candles are going to stay there, since that will be literally staying in the same place. But in a case when that's not possible, you could still light in one place of the house and bring it to another place in the house, because the whole house is considered one place. V'nashim shemadlikais haneres b'sukkah v'achar kach neisis eisen l'seicha bayis lo yafa hein eisis. And women that light Shabbos candles or Yontif candles in the sukkah, and afterwards they carry the candles into the house, they are not doing what's proper, because then they're not having the Shabbos or Yontif candles in the place where they're eating. Nirshu deilik me'erev Shabbos tzrichen lechabis v'lachzor lahatlikai lekavit Shabbos. When you already had candles being lit on Friday, it's necessary to extinguish the candles and to relight the candles, in order that you'll see that the lighting of the candles is to honor Shabbos. In order that it should be noticeable that you're lighting candles to honor Shabbos. So we see in Halacha 8 that it's necessary to light Shabbos candles in a place where one is going to eat. So if someone's eating in a dining room, let's say in a dining room. So if you're eating in the dining room, the best thing to do would be to put the candles on the dining room table. If for some reason they feel it's not safe or it's inconvenient and it doesn't work so well to put the candles on the table while you're eating, you should have it at least in a place that you could see the candles from the table. And then you'll be fulfilling the mitzvah of having Shabbos candles in the place where you're eating. What's the reason of having Shabbos candles in the place where you're eating? Does anyone know what's the reason for it? Kind of mentioned it a little earlier.
Well, because the Shabbos meal is supposed to be pleasurable, and if you can't see what you're eating, it's not so pleasurable as it is if you can see what you are eating. So a little like an help.
Yeah. So that's the reason. So exactly, in order to bring pleasure. Very good.
Depending on the food.
Okay.
Sometimes maybe you want to see it.
I think she's saying whether she cooked it or I cooked it.
How come expensive restaurants turn down the lights? Turn the lights down.
Very good, very good. Yeah. So a lot of people keep the lights on dim, but we see what we see is that according to Torah, so why is it more pleasure to have light? It brings more joy. It's explained that it brings more joy when you have light. When you have light around you, when you're eating with light, or even not just by eating, even by other places in the house, when you just have light, it gives a person more joy. Now, the idea that nowadays we have electricity, so in the past around 100 years, people have electricity in their homes. So what's the Shabbos candles adding will be discussed in Halacha 10. But just in short, is that even when you have electricity, you already have light in the room, additional light, especially light coming from candles, will bring more happiness, more joy. Will add joy. So that's the reason of having Shabbos candles in the place where you eat. Now about having Shabbos candles in the sukkah. So it's preferable to have Shabbos candles in the sukkah. That's to fulfill the mitzvah of having you should, in order to have Shabbos candles in the place where you're eating. If for some reason it doesn't work out to have Shabbos candles in the sukkah, then women are not, as mentioned earlier, women are not obligated in mitzvahs that are time bound. So if you light the candles inside, you should have at least the woman that eats near the candles so the candles are giving joy to someone that's eating by the candles. That's what you should do if you can't light in the sukkah. Another very important thing to talk about is, let's say someone's in a hospital or a hotel and they don't allow a flame of fire to be in the hospital or a hotel. Is one able to do the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles when they're in a hospital that doesn't allow a flame of fire? So if you look at the reasons of why we light Shabbos candles, in short, they are to honor Shabbos, to have pleasure on Shabbos, to bring pleasure to your meal through having light, and in order that there should be peace in the home and you shouldn't fall over anything. Seemingly, this could be accomplished even with electricity. If you turn on electricity, you'll have the idea of, you'll have these ideas. You won't be any worse off. That's what it seems. But when we say the bracha on lighting Shabbos candles, we say Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvaysa v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbos kodesh. One of the words in the wording of the bracha is ner. Ner has two meanings. It could either mean like lighting a candle or just mean light. So there's whenever you have two Jews, three opinions. So in this idea of what's the way to fulfill the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles, there's different opinions. There are those that hold it could be fulfilled even with electricity. Of course, even according to those opinions, they say if you have a flame of fire, you should definitely use a flame of fire. Just in a case when you don't have a flame of fire, you're not able to use a flame of fire, could you do the mitzvah with electricity? So there are those that have the opinion that you could, and there are those that say you can't. Now, even according to those that say you can't fulfill the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles with electricity, because it's the word ner, they explain that when you say the bracha and you're saying the word ner in the bracha, they say it means a candle that has a flame. Yeah. I'm just gonna finish. I'm just gonna finish. Sorry.
Okay.
And I'll take, after I'm finished, I'll take your question. So since that it's a flame, they say that it has to be a flame. Ner means a candle which has a flame. So they hold that it's not good to use electricity. Now there are some types of electricity that is similar to a flame. Some type of light bulbs. I think it's called incandescent light bulbs.
Incandescent.
Oh, incandescent light bulbs. Incandescent light bulbs. Thank you. So that is more similar to how a candle works, how a flame, a fire from a flame. But the best thing what to use if you're in a situation that you can't use a flame of fire, is there's something called a leen ner. I'm not sure if anyone heard of it. Spelled L-E-E, and a second word, N-E-R. Leen ner. And this is something that is very similar. You're not making a flame of fire. You're not seeing, but there's not actual. You're not lighting a candle that you're causing a fire in a. So in a place that doesn't allow any candles to be lit, they would still allow you to turn these on. And these are most similar to lighting an actual candle. So in a situation that you're not able to light light a candle, the best would be if you could get you could get 2 of these candles, or however many you light. You should get 2 of these leen ners. And before Shabbos to turn them on, and you could even say a bracha. You could even say a bracha on it. If you don't have these leen ner, you could, and you can't light with a candle. If you can't light with a candle, you don't have the leen ner. Then you should turn off the light before Shabbos, and turn it back on also before Shabbos, to do the idea of lighting of lighting candles, so bringing Shabbos light, bringing the light for Shabbos. But you cannot say a bracha because it's we're not sure if it's but you're not allowed to. But you shouldn't say a bracha because it's disagreement if you're doing the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles. So therefore, it should be done without a bracha. Okay, you had a question? I'll take your question.
Can you light the candles in the house and then light the leen ner or electricity in the sukkah? Maybe before the candles?
So lighting, good question. I think it would be better to light the leen ner first, and in the sukkah, and then afterwards light the candles at home with the bracha.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the candles, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Thank
you, yeah.
The leen ner, is that a battery or
Battery.
or electricity?
Yeah. It's
Battery.
battery.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Halacha Tes.
Before you get to the next halacha, the
Yeah.
one on sukkahs, you said that if you light the candles in the house, there should be somebody eating near that candle. So that means that he's not obligated to be in the sukkah.
Yeah, it should be, if there could be a woman that could eat.
Oh, a woman, okay.
Yeah.
It would have to be a woman, or is a man allowed to eat in the house?
Oh, it would have to be a woman unless the man is just having a snack in the house.
Limited eating. Okay. Thank you.
Now, if that's not possible, let's say you're the only one home and you're the only one home, then you're not able to light in the sukkah, you should light in your house and have some benefit near the candles. Let's say either by having a snack or by just reading a book near whatever it is, sitting by the candles, have some benefit. Now we're going to see a little more about the idea of having benefit near the candles in halacha Tes. Halacha Tes. Sarach lahadlik esaneres. Now in halacha Tes, we're going to speak about, are there other places that you should have light in your home besides where you're eating? Sarach lahadlik esaneres b'chol hachadarim shen mishtamisham. It's necessary to light Shabbos candles, or nowadays you could just turn on your electricity, turn the light switch on it's necessary to have light in all rooms that you use. Included in this law is not just rooms, but also hallways or staircases. If you're going to use them, and it's going to be dark if you don't turn on the light or have any candles there, then it's necessary to make sure there's light there. Also, if you're going to be going outside on your property, you should make sure that and it would be dark if you don't turn on lights. Then you should have lights in your yard in order that you're not going to fall due to the lack of light. If there's light from other places that could bring light to these places, then that suffices. As long as it's not going to, you're going to be able to see where you're going, and it's not going to be hard to get around in these places. Mi shehu bebeisei eitzel ishtoi, kivan she mevarachas al haneder shebecheder echad. One that is in his house together with his wife, since that she is saying a bracha on the Shabbos candles that are in one room, ein tzrich levarach al hadlaka shebeshar hachadarim. It is not necessary for the husband to say a bracha on lighting Shabbos candles in other rooms. And not only is it not necessary, but he shouldn't say a bracha on lighting candles in other rooms. But if the husband is staying in a different house on Shabbos, he's away for Shabbos, if he has his own room that's designated for him, it's necessary for the husband to light Shabbos candles and to say a bracha. Now, what does it mean, a room that's designated for him? It means that it's total, no one else. It means it's his own room that he's not, no one else is allowed to go into the room. So if he's a guest in someone's house, it wouldn't be considered your own room that's designated to you, because the way it works is that if the host has a reason to go into the room, he'll ask you, could I go into the room? And he'll be able to go into the room. And besides that idea, it's also not considered your own room if you're eating your Shabbos meal not by yourself, but you're eating with your host. You're eating your Shabbos. You're not making your own Shabbos meal, but you're eating your Shabbos meal by someone else. So if you're staying in someone's house, or even if you're staying in a hotel, but you're eating your Shabbos, if you're staying in someone's house, even if they say this room I'm renting to you as your room, I'm not able to go into it, but you're having the Shabbos meal by me, then it wouldn't be considered, then a man would not have to light Shabbos candles. This is specifically for a man. If many men are guests in one room, they should join together to buy candles for Shabbos, and one of them should light and say a bracha. And he should have in mind that when he says a bracha, he should have in mind to fulfill everyone that's in his room their obligation to light Shabbos candles, and everyone else in his room should have in mind to fill their obligation through his bracha. If one doesn't have his own room, but rather he's in a room together with the host, who is Jewish, it's unnecessary for the man to light, since his wife is lighting Shabbos candles in his house. So that's about married men. Now we're going to discuss about single men, men that aren't married. Unmarried men who learn in a different, away from their home. If they have their own room, that's their own room, they would have to light Shabbos candles with a bracha. And they have to chip in to purchase Shabbos candles. If there's more than one sleeping in one room, they should join together to purchase Shabbos candles. And one should say the bracha and have all of them in mind. And it's necessary that the candle should be lit until they come back to their room. If they're eating their house, if they're eating their Shabbos meal in someone else's house, they should make sure to and after the meal, when they come back to their room, the candles are still lit in order that they could have benefit from the candles. And if they don't have their own room, it's not a room that's designated to them solely. It's not a room that's designated to them. Since they don't have wives that are lighting for them, it's necessary that they should give money to the host, that they should have a partnership in lighting Shabbos candles. One that is eating a Shabbos meal by his host, he is included in the members of the host's household, and it's not necessary for him to light. It's not necessary for him to take partnership in lighting Shabbos candles, since that he's just considered part of the household of his host, since he's eating the Shabbos meal by his host. So if you're a guest in someone else's house and you're eating by your guest, and you're eating by your host, then you do not have to do anything for lighting Shabbos candles if you're a man. If you're a woman and you're a guest by someone else's house, it's the custom is that women should always light Shabbos candles. They should always light Shabbos candles, even when they're a guest, to do the mitzvah, because it's a special mitzvah for women to light Shabbos candles. That's the custom that they always should light. That's the custom that was made, that women should light even when they're a guest. Okay, so we'll stop here this week. It's class.